Sorry, apologies for that interruption. But welcome once again to this little celebration this afternoon, where we are talking about and celebrating the young career of Shubho Paul, an India age group striker who also plays for Sudeva Delhi FC and recently had a fairly successful, fairly decent debut season in the Hero I-League. Joining us this afternoon to make this announcement, which I think everyone from the press is already kind of aware of, the announcement regarding Shubho's selection in the FC Bayern World 11. We have a group of very distinguished panelists this afternoon, including Shubho Paul, of course, himself. From FC Bayern, we have Christopher Loch, the international youth coach for the FC Bayern World Squad, World 11. We have a Bayern Munich legend, Klaus, Augenthaler, a World Cup winner, and of course, who's won everything with Bayern. And we have Matthias, Brosamer, who joins us this afternoon. He's heading up sport for Asia, in all of Asia, for Bayern Munich. And from Sudeva, we have the two men who have been pushing the Sudeva Delhi FC project on all fronts, whether it's the residential academy or the senior team, the club team that's playing in various competitions, Anuj, Gupta and Vijay, Hakari. I'm going to get straight into it, not too much to introduce because we all know Bayern, we all know Shubho, we all know Sudeva. So I want to start things off by asking you, Christopher, if I may.
Yeah.
Just to tell us a little bit about this, an overview of the project in the sense. Right. So the FC Bayern World 11 has been announced a couple of days ago. What is it all about? How did you scout the team, and what stood out about Shubho Paul in this entire process?
Okay. Thank you for the introduction. Hello and welcome from Munich to India from my side. So the whole project, FC Bayern World Squad, we started it in beginning of January, and then we had. So the players born in 03 or 04, they all could sign in for this project, FC Bayern World Squad, in April. So we had at this time, at the end, more than 1.2 thousand players who sent us videos. Because of COVID, it was hard to travel and to go to the different places and see the players live. So we only had our scouting material on video. In the next step, we broke everything down to 35 players. And then we called every player from the last 35 players via Microsoft Teams and wanted to talk to them, get in touch with them, to see their faces, to get more details about their background, how often they're training, what they're doing, what favorite position they have, like kind of these things. And then at the end, we had to make a decision for 15 players for 15 different countries. And in total, from all these 1.2 thousand players, it was 64 nations worldwide who signed in. So for Shubho, it was, you can imagine, the last 15 players, very, very, very hard decisions, long nights, sleepless nights, a lot of discussions, Klaus and me. Shubho then was part of it, and we said because of his skills and what we saw on video was very, very good. And the club, Sudeva, helped us a lot because we got a lot of more material to watch, a lot of games, so we had more impressions about him. And we finally made a decision that he is part of the FC Bayern World Squad because of his quality.
Thanks a lot, Christopher, for that overview of what the thought process was behind both how the project went along as well as Shubho's inclusion in the final 15. Klaus, we are all kind of in awe of all that you've achieved on a football pitch. You started maybe your journey, you were at the same stage or a similar stage that Shubho is at today. What was the learning process like from then? And of course, what part did Bayern play in that entire process for you? What does it mean to realize the dream that every kid has growing up playing the sport?
Yeah. Ich habe es verstanden. Ja. Ich denke, es war dieselbe Situation. Ich komme von einer kleinen Stadt, 200 Kilometer von München weg, so ungefähr so, wie Shubho jetzt aus Indien nach München kommt. Und es war mein Traum, mit 16 Jahren Profi zu werden. Und wir hatten eine gute Jugendmannschaft und es stand der Spaß im Vordergrund. Klar wollten wir gewinnen und haben auch viel gewonnen, aber der Spaß hat mich weitergebracht. Ich kann bis dahin einmal übersetzen.
I think Shubho and I have a similar situation. We both come from a small town. I am from a small town 200 kilometers away from Munich. It's the same for Shubho. He comes from India to Munich. And when I was 16 years old, I had the dream to become a professional football player. And despite the fact that we achieved a lot and won a lot, it was always the fun who was most important for me.
Und der Traum war ja nicht, dass ich viel Geld verdienen wollte, Fußballer zu werden, sondern weil es mir einfach Spaß gemacht hat. Und ja, Traumwert war, ich habe 74 war das, noch die große FC Bayern Mannschaft gesehen mit Beckenbauer, Meier, Müller. Und ein Jahr später habe ich hier einen Vertrag unterschrieben, was ich mir immer erträumt habe, aber nie für möglich gehalten hätte. Und das ist so ein bisschen der Vergleich mit Shubho. Wir haben ja, was Christoph auch vorher gesagt hat, viele oder einige Videos gesehen. Die Qualität ist da. Aber ich möchte es gleich vorwegnehmen, er soll nicht verbissen sein, weil er jetzt vielleicht auch nicht mit dabei sein kann aus Corona-Gründen. Und wir werden weiterhin mit ihm in Verbindung bleiben. Und ja, ich denke mal, er liebt Fußball, er ist ein sympathischer Kerl und ich hoffe, dass wir ihn dann vielleicht Ende Juli, Anfang August hier in München sehen können. Wir haben schon Trikot vorbereitet für ihn und wir werden es ihm reservieren.
For me, it was not about the money. It was all about having fun as a football player. It was my dream. And when I started in 1974, I still saw the big FC Bayern team with Beckenbauer and Meier. And 1 year later, I had the opportunity to sign my contract. This was all I've ever dreamed about. And this is similar in terms with Shubho. But I want to say that he should not only focus on becoming a professional. It's all about the quality, and even we are still facing the Corona situation. That's not a problem. We will be in contact with him. We will keep the contact. And it's obvious that he loves football. He's a very, very pleasant guy, and we are looking forward to hopefully meet him at the end of July in Munich. We already prepared a jersey for him, and we will reserve the jersey for him until we can meet him in person.
Amazing. I'm sure Shubho, maybe he's not showing it now, but I'm sure he's delighted with that, just seeing his name on that jersey that we all recognize, immediately. Thank you so much for that, Klaus. And I think no doubt there'll be more questions for you from members of the press who joined us this afternoon. So we will come back. Matthias, rightly so, Klaus brought up the coronavirus situation, and there are not too many positives in what has been a challenging time for the entire world. But some of these things, like for example, so many of us from so many different parts of the world are able to come together and have this conversation this afternoon. In that sort of context, I wanted to ask you, how have you been looking at football in India, how it's developing, and in Asia also overall, since you're looking at the entire continent, and what lies ahead?
Yeah, first of all, thanks and hello to India. Yeah, in Asia, all over Asia, we see a lot of enthusiasm in football, and this football passion we can also see in the kids, and this is the first step. Maybe maybe the most important step as well, to have this football passion, to live football, to love football. So especially right now with Shubho and the nomination into the FC Bayern World Squad, this reflects the current situation also of the Indian football. After having, I don't know, decades of very successful years and still having those years in cricket and showing the world that you are world class. And I think India, and we see this a little bit right now, India is thirsty for football as well. So yeah, the professional infrastructure as well in India is growing, and we see that, and we felt that as well in talks with our friends in Delhi with FC Sudeva, and it's great to see that this club is also supporting Shubho in this way to bring talent, to give talents a platform, and try to develop them, and this is something. We are looking forward also through the World Squad to develop Shubho as well. Yeah, and in terms what is ahead in India, yeah, let's. I mean, we're aiming for it to find the right partners to develop football together, to bring more talents to Munich. Of course, Shubho is the first step, and Shubho is the first one. But maybe with this pathway, people can see, okay, there is a way to Europe as well, to big clubs as well, and we are looking forward to develop those talents together. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, to find the right partners, to have the right partners on site, because obviously we are also here to learn from every country. Every country is different in football, and obviously we want to learn and understand more and more about Indian football, and looking forward to that.
Super. Thank you for rounding things off, Matthias. I think it's a perfect sort of segue into the next part of our chat, which is, of course, one partnership that at least the initial steps of which have been established. Shubho, सुनाई दे रहा है आपको ठीक?
Yes, sir.
तो शुभो, आपकी कहानी सुदेवा के साथ काफी टाइम से जुड़ी हुई है। 12 साल की उम्र से आप साथ में हैं। जब शुरुआत की थी आपने, सोचा था कि एक दिन ऐसे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में बैठे होंगे और एक वर्ल्ड कप विनर और बायर्न म्यूनिक जैसे बड़े क्लब के लेजेंड आपके नाम का जर्सी आपको दिखा रहे होंगे?
मैंने तो कभी नहीं सोचा था ऐसे। मैं तो बस आई लीग के लिए खेलने आया था सुदेवा में। इतना तक मैं जाऊंगा कभी सोचा ही नहीं था कि सुदेवा मेरा को इतना दूर तक लेके जाएगा।
कैसा लग रहा है आज?
बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा लग रहा है कि सर ने मेरा जर्सी दिखाया और बायर्न टीम में सिलेक्ट हुआ।
So the question to Shubho was essentially whether he has a relationship with Sudeva that goes back to when he was 12 years old, and did he expect to ever be sitting on a stage with, you know, legends of the game and have a Bayern Munich jersey unveiled with his name on it? And he was saying that, of course, you know, coming from a small town, just like Klaus had mentioned about his story, his goals and ideas were limited at that point to playing the I-League, which is currently the second division in Indian football. And that was his aim, and he was delighted to have achieved that. But this is taking things to another level, and he's delighted to be experiencing this and looking forward to what comes next. Shubho, आपके लिए आई थिंक प्रेस से काफी सवाल होंगे, तो आप यहीं रहिएगा, ठीक है? मैं वहां आपके पास वापस आएंगे, ठीक है? And also for members of the press who are with us on this call, I'll help with the translation between Hindi and English because our friends from Germany obviously don't have that translation facility available. Shubho will be taking questions in Hindi and answering in Hindi as well. Any questions for Klaus and Christopher and Matthias, you can let me know. We'll endeavor to take questions from everyone who is on the call. So if you could just let me know your names and I'll call you out, and then we'll unmute you so you can ask your question. So if you can just start letting me know if you have questions, I can start getting that order sorted while we listen to what Anuj and Vijay have to say. Yeah, I hope everyone's good with that. Vijay, taking the conversation forward, you are sort of responsible for the residential program and for a lot of the scouting work that Sudeva Delhi FC do. Tell us a bit about Shubho's scouting process and his development with the club over the past few years.
Thank you, Aney, and hello, everyone. It feels great to be amongst these elite gentlemen out there. With your question, see, Shubho, I think Shubho had come to us, I think at the age of 11 and a half or 12, around 2016. And when he came into the trial, when he was brought in, and he just stood out from all the other kids. It was just something that we could instantly see. But we could not, in Indian football, we could not really see a way ahead that what exactly is going to come out, because development requires a lot of discipline. There's a lot of things which go on into players. There are a lot of things that they have to basically manage, be it their family, be it so you can't really predict what's going to happen. But as time went by, Shubho's basic focus, a single-minded focus of a striker, I think that's what's worked for him. He's always been very focused about what he wants to do, and he's always been even if you ask him a question about, I shouldn't be answering it, but if you ask him a question where he wants to be, you'll be surprised that he wants to be at the top of the world. That's the way he answers it. And that's the way he's been since the beginning. And his single mind focus and single focus has actually gotten him here. And slowly, be it whichever development angle or whichever disciplinary angle we actually introduced into our system, he kept on following that. With, of course, there are times when you have to handle them in a different way, because in India, football still is in an infancy stage. And to develop all that, it takes a lot. And that's what's worked for him, the way he's gone and the way he graduated from 13 to 15 to 18. And now in the senior team, the way he's performed amongst these heavyweights of football playing around in India. And just a boy running around, and he's able to score that. So that's something which is wonderful to see.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Vijay. You also, everyone, please hang around for the question and answer session that's to follow. Anuj, last but not least. Proud moment for you as well. A bit more, if you can add just on Shubho's debut season in the I-League and how that step up you think is playing out in the context of his career.
Yeah. So firstly, thanks a lot, FC Bayern and the panelist for making this unrealistic and dream event to happen. Especially, it's not only a dream come true for Shubho, but I think it's a dream come true for Vijay and I also, and everyone in Sudeva who has supported our conviction. And in regards to your question, I was very sure the way he was performing at all age categories, from under 13, where he scored over 58 goals in 14 matches. And then when he got into under 15, then also he was scoring he was scoring as in when he wanted. And then he got into the national team in under 15 and under 16. He was performing really well, playing against good teams like even Belgium under 15s, the China under 15. So in those kind of matches also, he had performed really well. So with that, transforming him from 15 to 18, there also he was scoring at all levels. So I was very sure that this is a good time for him to get a chance at a senior level, which is one of the top levels in the country. And he had come back from UAE after playing for the youth national team, and he joined the Sudeva Delhi FC team in literally at half the season. So it is never easy for any player to join in between, especially a boy who was doing a debut. So whenever, I was very sure, and the coach was very sure that he has the capability of scoring, because close to the goal, he's very good. And yes, based on that, I think he performed really well. He scored 2 goals, he assisted 1. So in total, I think it was quite a good performance. Plus, we also made him a captain. And as a captain also, he got the man of the match in one of the matches which he won. So I think overall, I think it was a great season for him, and that gave us a confidence that it is good time for him to play in Europe. And then this was something which nobody expected. And then it's great that the way his progress is going on, this experience to be in FC Bayern World Squad would be great. And and working under Klaus, working under the Bayern team, it is like to be honest, it's impossible to even dream. So by doing this, players like Shubho would also start dreaming in this country, which is a problem because kids who play football, they don't have a dream. They just have a very they play and then they don't have a belief. But anyhow, so I think in a nutshell, Shubho, hopefully we are giving him the right platform at the right age. And one day he'll become professional in Europe, which is one of our dream.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Fair enough. And that also brings us back to some of what you said, brings us back to what Christopher was saying in the beginning about the scouting process and the fact that he participated in the I-League meant that the club and Shubho had enough material to share with the coaches and the scouting team at FC Bayern, and therefore they could make that selection. So lots of positives there and good team effort. Like my colleague was saying, it's taken a village. I'll now open it up to questions. We have already a few members of the press who have questions. The first one is Srijan, who has a question for Shubho, the man of the hour. So Srijan, if you can unmute your microphone, please, and Shubho as well, and please ask your question.
Hi Shubho, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
अच्छा, तो I'll ask you in Hindi only. आपको पहले कब पता चला कि बायर्न ऐसे वर्ल्ड स्क्वाड का स्काउटिंग कर रहा है एंड जब पता चला कि आपका डिटेल शेयर हुआ है, वीडियो शेयर हुआ है, आई थिंक तब आई लीग भी चल रहा था, तो कुछ आपके मन में क्या फीलिंग था? डिड दैट इफेक्ट, कुछ इफेक्ट गिरा आपका गेम पे और यू वर कंप्लीटली sort of focused on your game और इसके बारे में ज्यादा नहीं सोचे? तो वो माइंड प्रोसेस क्या था आपके अंदर और आपको कब पता चला कि बायर्न ये चीज कर रहा है और यू हैव बीन लाइक आपका डिटेल शेयर हुआ है?
Fair enough. Shubho, एक second, I'll just मैं question translate करूंगा. Srijan asked Shubho basically when he came to know that his details and information and videos etc. were being shared with FC Bayern. And because he was in season at that time in the I-League, he was playing in the I-League, what sort of impact did it have on his state of mind at the time, knowing that he was involved in this process? Right, Shubho, go ahead.
Hello.
हेलो शुभ, हाँ बोलिए.
मैं आई लीग जब खेला था तभी भी मेरे को पता नहीं था. मैं एक हफ्ते के लिए घर गया था तब. फिर इधर से सर ने बुलाया मेरे को सुबह में प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए. मैं आया, फिर सर ने मेरे को कुछ भी नहीं बताया बायर्न म्यूनिख के बारे में, क्योंकि मेरा मतलब दिमाग में न चल जाए कि मैं बायर्न म्यूनिख में जाने मतलब तो वीडियो वगैरह भेज रहा और मैं गेम पे ना करे कुछ भी. तो मैं प्रैक्टिस करता रहा और जब सिलेक्ट 3 वीक के पहले जब सिलेक्ट होने वाला था तब सब सर ने मीटिंग बुलाया था कि सबको बुलाया बच्चे वगैरह को मीटिंग के लिए. फिर हम लोग गए सब. फिर सर ने बोला कि सुबह बायर्न म्यूनिख में सिलेक्ट हो गया. फिर सब मेरे को पता चला कि बायर्न म्यूनिख में सिलेक्ट, और सर ने कांग्रेचुलेट भी किया मेरे को, तो सब लोग खुश भी थे.
Right. So Shubho's response was that he wasn't actually aware of this process being underway while he was playing. He had gone home for a week, and then he came back and he was focused on practice on his game. And it was sort of out of the blue that a meeting was called and this announcement was made. The news was broken to him that he was part of this squad. So he wasn't really focused on either what was going to happen or not happen. He was kind of just focused on practicing and training and carrying on with that. Right. Shubho, Srijan, I hope that answers your question for now. Next up, we have Jagrik from Anand Bazaar Digital. Jagrik, if you can unmute yourself, please, and ask your question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. मेरा सवाल ये था कि आपका फर्स्ट रिएक्शन क्या था जब आपने वो न्यूज़ पाया टीम के साथ? आपका फर्स्ट रिएक्शन क्या था? शुभो.
एक second, Shubho. The question is, what was your first reaction to learning about being in the team? Yeah, Shubho, go ahead.
मेरे को लगा ही नहीं कि मैं सिलेक्ट हो जाऊंगा बायर्न में और मेरे को सपना जैसा लग रहा था. ड्रीम है, सबका ड्रीम है कि बायर्न म्यूनिख और बड़े क्लब में खेलना. मेरा लाइक ड्रीम जैसा हुआ. मेरे को लगा कि मैं सपना देख रहा हूँ कि सिलेक्ट हो गया वर्ल्ड स्क्वाड में. मैं क्या बोलूं, बहुत खुश था जब सिलेक्ट.
So Shubho is saying that he's basically at a loss for words because he had never imagined something like this happening. He hadn't really thought about it. It's part of his dream to be included in any way or associated in any way with a club such as Bayern Munich, FC Bayern, and so it's like it's a dream come true essentially. Right. Next up, we have Vaibhav from NewsClick. Vaibhav, if you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Hi. I hope you can hear me.
Yep.
Hi, Klaus from FC Bayern, which is that the original plan was to take Shubho to Mexico. They train there, and then from there, I think you do a selection and they go to Munich. But we're now we're living in a COVID era, and I think Klaus brought this up also. So what is actually the next steps, like pragmatically, what are the next steps that you're going to take with Shubho, like to train him further on? Can you just give me some clarity on that if you don't mind? Thank you.
Chris can answer. Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, he cannot travel because of the COVID situation. But I think everyone tried the best to get him to Mexico. All the guys here in Munich, the office, Sudeva Club. But unfortunately, it's not happening. But we will stay in touch with him definitely. So we will have an exchange. We will try to get him then on video to Mexico, that he gets to know all the other players from the World Squad. And in August, when we will play our under-19s, we hope that he can travel to Munich. But we don't know yet. We have to wait for the situation, if it's changing or not. No one knows yet. But we are looking forward to it, and we hope that it's possible that we can see him face to face and train with him. But we will keep in touch. We give him advice. We are in touch with the club. They help a lot. They support him very, very good. It's good for us and for him to make the next steps.
Wenn es nicht klappt im August, vielleicht findet es nächstes Jahr wieder statt. Und er ist ja 2004 geboren. Ja, also die Hoffnung nicht aufgeben. Und wir bleiben in Verbindung.
And if it doesn't work out this year, maybe the World Squad will take place next year again, and he can always try it once again. And we should not give up that it will work out at the end of July.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that does kind of cover some of it. Arunavo, next up. Arunavo is joining us from Germany, I think. If you can hear us, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, Arunavo. Hi.
Servus nach München. Namaste. Good afternoon to India. My first question is for FC Bayern. You're doing a scouting program through the World Squad and bringing in kids from around the world, and you have got the training or the sessions in Mexico and then in Munich in July, August. Are you going to be tracking these boys after that? Are you going to keep a tab on these boys to potentially look at them in some sort of formal way? What's the midterm or long-term plan with the boys?
Yeah, of course we will do it. So that will not be the end for the players, for the 15 players who are like scouted for the FC Bayern World Squad. So we will definitely going to stay in touch with them. We told them in every meeting we had already, they can call us every time they want if they have questions. So they can contact us. We will stay in touch with them. And yeah, it's like, the development is a long way and it's a very, very hard way to become a professional player. And when they need support, we are here and we will give them the support if they need it and if they want it.
All right.
Siddhant, can I ask an additional question to Sudeva as well? Anuj and Vijay?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, sure.
Thanks. Good afternoon, Anuj and Vijay. What does this mean? I mean, you guys started off, Sudeva, with an idea of developing talent, giving young kids a chance. You now have a team in the I-League. What does it mean for you that a boy like Shubho that has come through your system, who's part of the India youth setup, gets a chance in a program like the World Squad that FC Bayern is creating? What does that mean to you, for you guys?
You go first.
So thanks a lot for the question. I think one thing which makes it very clear is that maybe whatever we are doing for the last 5-6 years, it is on the right track. And that's one of the major reasons why they have selected Shubho as one of their players. And what comes out from this is, to be honest, for Shubho to enjoy the experience, to be happy, and to see himself a flavor of what it could become once he becomes a professional player in Europe. And that is, to be honest, the whole plan. That as the players from Sudeva, they turn 16, 17, they have to debut I-League, and then based on their performance, they would be taken to Europe. And then obviously it's destiny, and it's time will tell how they would perform there. But yes, he is bringing. He can actually make a lot of other kids who are following him to actually work harder with the belief that if they do well, they have an opportunity to play in Europe. So I think that's the way I would
Vijay, anything you want to add to that, or
See, I would just say that when Anuj and I started off with the company, and we started off on a very small scale, and our idea was to develop athletes. That was the basic idea, that we've been footballers ourselves, but we want to develop athletes and take them to another level. As this is really gone up there, and as we went through the system, we've understood that in Indian football, nobody's right if everybody's wrong. So getting through that was the difficult part, and whatever we could give to these children, especially Shubho is the one who's actually broken out of all of them. And like Anuj said, it is very important that when this boy actually goes to the next level, and the amount of learning, the amount of experience that this boy gains, and see, we can teach them something, but for a single individual like Shubho going in their system, understanding how it works, what it's all about, he brings back a lot of knowledge to us. He brings back a lot of experience to us, and that actually can help other kids we have an arsenal of players which have been developed from the age of 11. So I believe that with Shubho, we need about 100 Shubhos for India to actually go over to the world stage, and that's the whole plan.
Right. Okay. Cool. Shomo, if you're still with us, you're next. Please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My question is for Mr. Klaus. So first of all, what did you exactly see in Shubho that you went ahead and selected him? And secondly, do you see more such talents coming out of India in the future?
Don't understand.
Er hat gefragt, was du im Shubho gesehen hast, damit er ausgewählt wurde, oder was dazu geführt hat, dass er ausgewählt wurde, und ob du glaubst, dass es weitere solcher Talente aus Indien in Zukunft geben wird.
Ja, wir haben natürlich die Qualitäten gesehen, die er hat. Aber was ich ihm gleich auf den Weg mitgeben will, er ist jetzt, glaube ich, ein bekannter junger Mann in Indien. Er soll sich nicht zu sehr unter Druck setzen und auch nicht unter Druck setzen lassen.
So we definitely saw the quality he has, but I would like to tell him for his future way that he should not let himself be put under pressure, because as we all know, he's pretty famous in India right now, and it's very important not to put himself under pressure.
Yeah, and he is not perfect. He has to learn much. And I hope we see us in August, maybe next year, and we stay in contact. And they will help him. And this is my advice. Stay in time. No pressure for you. You can learn, you have to learn. And we will see. Maybe in August, maybe in next year.
शुभो, more or less समझ रहे हैं आप क्या बोल रहे हैं, Klaus?
Yeah, there is a second part to the question actually, if you may. Mr. Klaus, do you see more such talents coming out of India? How do you see the whole Indian football scenario from whatever you've seen so far?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, my question was whether you see more such talents coming out from this country, and from whatever you've seen of the Indian football scenario so far, what is your assessment? Thank you.
Ob es in Zukunft weitere Talente aus Indien geben wird, also ob du glaubst, ob mehr Talente aus Indien kommen werden.
Ich hoffe, dass das ein Weg ist. Ich meine, Indien ist ein sehr großes Land im Gegensatz zu Deutschland. Ich weiß, dass Fußball nicht Sport Nummer 1 in Indien ist, aber ich denke schon, wenn es jetzt wieder dementsprechend gefördert wird, auch mit guten Trainern, gibt es ja genügend Talente, dass vielleicht der eine oder andere indische Spieler den Weg nach Europa finden wird. Ja.
I definitely hope so. I mean, India is a big country compared to Germany, and we all know that football is not the number one sport there, but I really hope so. I hope that if football is getting more and more promoted with qualified coaches, that many talents will find their way to Europe in the future.
Maybe I can add something here because I'm also looking to India and to Indian talents as well, and checking those markets as well. So, we need to know, and we need to say that every region and every country is different, and we need to understand the football history and the market. And the Indian football is very complex. So if you look at it and your league structure, how it was, how it's developed now, it's getting into the right direction. So we see there more and more development in football, and we are here to support this development and be there to develop the Indian football in the right way. And hopefully we see very soon some players who can wear the jersey of FC Bayern, or if they don't make it to FC Bayern, then they make it to other clubs. But to develop the Indian football together with the right partners in India, this is something we are looking for, and we are here to support this definitely. And Shubho and this is right now a good step into the right direction, but still a very long pathway to go, not only for Shubho but also for the football in India.
All right. Next up, we have Aney. Sorry, the journalist hasn't told me their name. Aney, journalist, could you please unmute yourself and ask the question? Do we still have anyone from Aney with us? No. Okay, we can come back. We also have, there's another journalist, Abreshmina Saeed Qadri of news18.com. She is unable to get her audio on the call, so I will ask the question on her behalf. पहला सवाल शुभो आपके लिए. First question is for शुभो. क्या बातचीत हुई है आपकी बायर्न कोचेस के साथ, बायर्न म्यूनिख के साथ, और आप क्या सीखने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं उनसे? The question in English is what is the conversation that you've had with FC Bayern, and what are you trying to learn from their experiences or their expertise from them?
उन्होंने बोला कि पेशेंस रखना, मतलब ध्यान से मतलब खेलना, इंजरी का नहीं होना ज्यादा, और बॉडी बनाना, अपर बॉडी स्टेन बनाना, और उनसे बहुत कुछ सीखने को भी मिला कि जर्मन सिखाया, थोड़ा जर्मन सीखने को बोला सर ने, और उन लोगों ने भी बोला होगा सर, और उधर जाके बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा. सर सिखाएगा भी बहुत, ऑनलाइन ना तो नहीं हो तो उधर जाके सिखाएगा सर बहुत कुछ.
राइट. शुभो, शुरुआत में क्या बोल रहे थे आप? क्या बातचीत हुई? सॉरी, आपका लाइन ज्यादा क्लियर नहीं है तो कट रहा है, आवाज ठीक नहीं आ रही है.
उन लोगों ने बोला है कि सर स्टेन बढ़ाने के लिए अपर बॉडी का, और इंजरी फ्री रहने के लिए, और प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए, अच्छे से ध्यान रखने के लिए अपना, इस बोला है.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So what Shubho is saying is that he has already gathered from Bayern the need to firstly develop his strength, to look after himself physically, to remain free from injury, and look after himself overall from all perspectives, so that he can keep at practice and keep practicing and keep getting better. And he likes the German way of playing, the FC Bayern way of playing, and so he wants to learn both technical and other aspects of that play from this interaction with FC Bayern. Right. I think if we don't have the journalist from Aney with us, that the last question then is Abreshmina's question for Bayern. And maybe this is a bit of a repeat. I mean, they've already kind of mentioned that they will be trying to provide all kinds of support that Shubho requires, and they will remain in touch. But just a final word from it from the coaches anyway, because we have the coaches with us. So Klaus, Christopher, what sort of technical support specifically will you provide Shubho during this next period, however long it may last?
Wie ihr Shubho unterstützt, auch technisch gesehen und allgemein?
Ja gut, bleiben ja in Verbindung und wir kennen seine Schwächen. Und ja, durch das, dass wir in Verbindung bleiben, werden wir ihm schon Ratschläge geben. Aber schön wäre es natürlich, wenn wir ihn mal live sehen könnten. Ja, wir haben ihn nicht umsonst ausgewählt durch die Videos, aber es ist immer noch was anderes, wenn man einen Spieler live sieht, sprich auch in die Augen schaut. Er schaut sympathisch aus und ich denke, er würde auch live sehr sympathisch sein.
So as already mentioned, we will definitely keep in touch with him. We know his weaknesses and will support him in any way. But at the end, it's definitely better to get to know him in person, to see him in real life. We know him from his videos, but it's always something different when you can look someone into the eyes. And we all know that he's a pleasant player, but we would like to get to know him in person.
All right, sorry, anything to add, Chris, or are you good?
No, I think Klaus just mentioned everything. We try if we cannot see him like live on the pitch or train with him, we try to get as many information as we can get on videos, so they can record every training session, they can send it to us, they give us some feedback, they can send us, like they did before, from the games, the videos. But the best way would be we can see him and train with him. But I think and I hope that we can see him. But we will definitely have a plan. We are in touch with the club. It's a good conversation. We had always Matthias is in touch with them from China all the time. It's a good conversation. They're open for everything. They support him. That's the most important thing, and then he can do the next steps. And as Klaus mentioned, Shubho, don't put too much pressure on yourself. And it's a long way. Give him the time to develop and don't put pressure on him.
And it's a good time to learn in this age. And what we saw in the videos, you have to learn with his left leg. Yeah. If you will become a professional player, you have to learn with both legs.
Weaker foot, Shubho, weaker foot. Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, coaches, for that. And we'll take a last and final question from Vijay from the Hindu, who has joined us, one of the major dailies in India. Vijay, if you're with us and you can hear us, please unmute yourself and ask your question. And then after that, we will say goodbye.
Thank you, Siddhant. I missed much of it, but I just want to know that as of now, where does the whole plan stand, and how soon can we expect a couple of names who would be making a good impact on the national scene?
On the Indian national team, is it?
Yes, please.
So yeah, I guess fair enough, Vijay, that we did sort of cover a bunch of this, but Matthias, maybe you want to take the question just to give Vijay a quick recap of what we've been through.
A brief answer, because I can always get it from Anuj.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think this is an answer we cannot answer alone, and this is definitely something the Indian football needs to answer it. So we are here to support, definitely, and we are willing to support, and hopefully we see this player or this national team players also wearing red and FC Bayern jersey in a Bundesliga or Champions League match. Definitely, we would like to see that, and we would like to want that. But how long does it take? That is definitely a question for all of the football people in India. And if you're willing to that, I mean, we are there to support, definitely, and we would like to be supportive in develop the Indian football together. And then I'm sure with the whole enthusiasm you guys have into sports and also the professionalism you have, showing world class in other sports, winning medals in Olympics and everything, also in team sports like hockey, for example. I mean, definitely I see a lot of potential in Indian football. But as my colleagues, as Klaus and Christopher already said, we are just here to support and don't put too much pressure on the players, especially right now where everybody is talking about Shubho and the expectations are very big and everybody wants him to succeed. But it is really a long way in football to develop football, but also to develop players. Let's stay humble and work hard and try the best and then we will definitely see some great talents playing in Europe as well. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah. Maybe one of the Sudeva gents wants to also add a bit on this, since you guys are giving Indian football hopefully some of this pipeline and you are developing it. What are your kind of targets in this regard, and what's the process? How's it going?
So, hi Vijay. I mean, I think part of the question, answer to part of the question is how this development in Shubho's life would help in terms of him getting into the national team. So I personally feel is that definitely it is one step forward towards the development of Shubho as a player and as a human being, because that's the key. We really work on the character of a player. More than footballer, it's very important that he grows as a human being. He needs to have that character, and I think that is something which we are trying to build in. And if he's able to sustain himself in Europe for years to come, then for sure, I think we'll be able to see many more Indian players getting to play in Europe, which would help national team to also have a supply of players who are not only playing in India, but also playing outside in Europe, getting a chance for the national camp. So I think it's overall, because in India, the system will take time because the population is huge, but in Europe, the system is already there for many years. So the best of the boys need to be in the system in Europe so that the system is also able to produce or make the player better. And then whenever the national team requires, these players are already playing the 10-month season, getting those matches, which is the key, and help indirectly Indian football.
Fair enough. I think that pretty much covers everything. Thank you guys so much. Like you guys all said, reiterating the fact that this is a moment to celebrate Shubho and the beginning of what might be a great career. Without putting too much pressure on the young players. There's a long way to go, both for the Indian national team, for Shubho himself, and for club football in India in general. Thank you so much, gentlemen from Bayern, from FC Bayern, Klaus, Christopher, Matthias. Great to have you guys and introduce you a little bit to the Indian audiences or Indian football fans. We'll keep this conversation going. Shubho, congratulations once again. And to Sudeva, all your teammates, all your coaches, everyone who has put effort into this process. Congratulations to you all. And friends from the media who joined in, thank you for all your questions. You can get in touch with the PR respective individuals for any follow-ups or queries you might have. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. We'll see you all again soon. All the best. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Recording stopped.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
You can remember.
Thank you. Goodbye.